Hey, welcome back. We're talking about volunteer expectations on the weekend. We talk about attending 10 till 10. We talked about staying 10 minutes late. We talked about wearing a lanyard. Next, we're going to talk about the importance of Planning Center. Planning Center is our database software, our management system that we use for kids check in. We use it for giving, we use it for groups, we use it to reserve a room, and we also use it to schedule our volunteers. And so, Planning Center is kind of where we are at when it comes to a database management software. It's what we use for everything here at the church. And you might have already been very familiar with Planning Center, but I want to reiterate its importance. One of the things that we have discovered is that when we metric what matters, the church seems to grow a lot faster. And one of the metrics that matters a lot to us is how many volunteers were scheduled and how many volunteers served on any given Sunday. And so Planning Center is really important for that. You're going to be getting scheduled wherever you serve. You should be getting scheduled on Planning Center. If you're a leader watching this, you should be doing the scheduling on Planning Center. And some of you might say, well, Pastor, that's just another login. It's so cumbersome. Well, the reason we do this is so that we can kind of predict burnout. We can say, well, Johnny has served 8 weeks in a row and he needs a break, or Sally has served for 3 months straight and hasn't been in church because they've been in the nursery. And this allows us to see patterns and behaviors that might be unhealthy for your spiritual growth. So we're not doing this to annoy you. We're doing this to lead you and to help you. This also allows you to set out block out dates where you can say, hey, I know that I cannot work or I cannot serve on these days, so I'm going to go ahead and block them out. You can do that within the Planning Center app. If you download the app in the App Store, it's a little green app, the Planning Center services portion of it, and you can just go through your schedule there. You can submit block out dates. What you can also do is you can set preferences. You can say, I'd only like to serve on the first and third Sunday of every month, or I'd only like to serve on the second and fourth Sunday of every month. You can also see conflicting schedules. Maybe you were scheduled to be in the band and scheduled to be serving in kids, and there's a conflict there. It will alert us and it will alert you that, hey, you can't serve in these two places at once. It also helps us know who's in each classroom. For liability's sake, when a kid is checked into a classroom, we need to know how many leaders are in each of those rooms with those children. And so this is more than just a cumbersome, annoying thing that we're trying to put you through. This helps us metric the health of our church. And so Planning Center is vital to growing the church. And as the church grows, it keeps us organized and systematized in a way that just enables us to see the growth. We celebrate when more people were scheduled than ever before. We celebrate. It's how we metric our growth. We say, man, we have more volunteers now this year than we did last year. And the only way for us to know that is when people accept on Planning Center and serve when they're supposed to serve, or when they're declining on Planning Center several weeks in a row. It gives us insight to maybe somebody being burned out, or maybe somebody no longer attending the church. By using Planning Center, it helps us see those things. So-and-so has declined 4 weeks in a row from serving when they used to serve all the time. It gives us insight to maybe somebody's thought process. It allows me to give them a call and say, hey, I noticed that you declined for a whole month. Is everything okay? Is there anything that we can do for you? Of course, there's going to be those emergency situations where someone had confirmed to serve and they can't because their child is sick, or they had car trouble. But overall, I think it's so important for you to prioritize using Planning Center. If you're a leader watching this video, it's important that you give your team enough advance notice to accept and decline, to not be scheduling them on the same week that they're supposed to serve, to give them as much advance notice as possible. Also, if you're someone who is serving, it's important that you confirm whether you're going to be there or not, so that there's not a question mark next to your name in the system whenever you come to serve. So we need a certain number of volunteers in order to operate in the kids ministry. And when someone doesn't accept or decline and they just leave it blank, we're unaware if they're going to show up to serve or not. So it's really important, the use of Planning Center. If you have any problems with getting access to Planning Center, or if you need some additional training, they have Planning Center University online where there's a lot of video resources for you. Also, Charity Hagen, our communications director, she's the Planning Center boss and she can train you. All you have to do is send an email to charity@focus.church. But I hope this helps you understand why we use this software